Good morning, my name is Reducción and I'm going to explain the synthesis of the bioethanol. Okay, the chemical reaction is this. Because we can produce ethanol using biomass. The chemical reaction in this case is fermentation, and it consists in 4 phases in order to produce this kind of ethanol. The first one is dilution. In the dilution, we're going to add water to the biomass that we're going to use to produce the ethanol. In the second phase is the conversion. And in the conversion, we're going to see that the cellulose that the biomass have it are going to transform its properties in order to be now a fermentation sugar. In the phase number 3, the fermentation are going to be ready to do it, and the sugar are going to produce ethanol by an anaerobic process. And the last one is the distillation. In the distillation, we're going to separate the ethanol from the water using heat, because the boiling points are different, and we can use these properties in order to separate this kind of mixture. It's important to know that the usage of bioethanol have advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are that we can produce less CO2 than the fossil fuels in 40 to 80%. This is a high percent because the quantity of the CO2 that the fossil fuels produce by year is too high. The using of bioethanol reduces acid rains because the production of CO2 is lower than the using fossil fuels. The most important thing that I think of this process is that it doesn't pollute water, and the water is a symbolic resource that we need to live. And the bioethanol improves air quality in urban areas. It says that the air can be more pure in these areas. But the disadvantages in order to use bioethanol is that we need to cost a lot to modify our cars, because the motors cannot accept this alcohol directly. So we need to make this motor stronger. Okay. And how the greenhouse effects can be reduced using the bioethanol. Okay, this is the CO2 cycle using bioethanol. And these are going to be the process to explain how the CO2 is lower than using fossil. And it says that, for example, we use fossil fuels, for example, and when the fossil fuels are making the combustion, this quantity of CO2 is too high, and we using bioethanol is the same process, but in this case the CO2 are going to be intake by photosynthesis from the trees or the living things or the natural resources. And it's for this that it's important, this cycle, in order to reduce or use more the CO2.